guys, it's Hannah. Welcome back to a new video this week. I hope you're all doing fine. So it's been a while since we've seen each other, but today I have prepared a pros cons video for you about my gap year, and to spice things up a little bit, I've added some points that are neutral. Okay, so let's just start off. I have prepared a little list with some points that I'm going to talk about. So let's just start off with the pros. So I think a very good part about the gap year is that you have basically this like whole new year of basically nothing at first, but you have like all of the chances to make it like your best year, or like where you find yourself. That is a very cliche answer, and I prefer not to use it, because honestly, do you really find yourself in your gap year? I mean, what it really is that you're thrown into like nothing after school, and you have to organize everything yourself. And then it's about you, if you want to make it great, if you want to chill, if you want to go out to the world, or if you just want to do something that maybe interests you or whatever. So yeah, that is basically something that could also be a neutral point actually, because it's about what you make of it. But for me it was a very positive point, because I'm gonna travel a lot, and I have traveled, and yeah, it's amazing, and I really need it this year. So I think what is also great is that you really have time to figure out what you want. That is also a very like typical thing to say about a gap year, but I feel like it's true, because you have this year between graduating from school and going to college or uni or whatever, and you really have time to figure out what you want to study, maybe what you want to do after university, and you just have time to like try out new things. Whether you actually do it is the other thing, but I mean, you have the time, which you wouldn't if you would have just jumped into university life. Moving on, so I think another really positive point about a gap year is that I feel like if someone asks you what you want to do after school and you say you want to take a gap year, there's just a very positive vibe about it. And I mean, that doesn't make a good point for me, but I just feel like whenever you say to a person, oh yeah, I'm straight going to university, then it's like all planned out for you. And I feel like people just, when you say to someone that you're taking a gap year, they already like give you advice on it, or they're like open about it whenever you say that you want to take one. And if you're saying, okay, I'm going to go to university, they're going to ask you what you're going to study, and that's it. But I feel like people are so much more open to gap years, because there's just so many like versatile things about it, and you can basically, you have this whole year to just do whatever you want. So moving on to the neutral parts, I guess just this whole issue of like having a lot of time can be, it's like you can do whatever you want with it, and that can turn out good or bad for you, and that's like about you, which makes this whole thing also really scary. Because before, I mean, for me it was like this. Before in school, people would just decide what I'm doing, when I had to go somewhere, and now I had to like really plan it out for myself and really organize and discipline whenever I wanted to do something and actually work for it, like put effort in, and that is something that I had to like train myself to actually do, which actually leads me to a con, because I feel like after school, of course I studied a lot for my exams, but I just needed this like break after studying, and I feel like I don't really have this discipline anymore. Like I had to train myself to actually work for something, which I wanted to do myself. Before, I was just like studying for exams, which I had to take because I knew that if I wouldn't, I would not graduate, which would sort of defeat the purpose. But now I actually like had this goal of, let's say I want to go to Australia, and then I would actually like work for it, like find myself a job, do the planning, do like the booking and stuff, because that's all the things you have to do now, and you have to take upon yourself. Another very dominant point, like negative point, is I think losing motivation, because you just have so much free time that you're not used to, and free time can be a very scary thing, guys. Like honestly, when someone would tell me like, oh, you're taking a gap year, that's amazing, you have so much free time, I would just be like, yeah, that's cool, free time, I'm good. That's like the one most thing I'm gonna look forward to. And honestly, that's the thing where I was like, is this a good decision for me? Because free time can be so overwhelming. Like it's just so intense, because you spend a lot of time with yourself, and first you don't really know what you're doing, and then you realize, oh shit, you have to actually do something in order to, I don't know, like feel accomplished, I guess, and that is also something I wasn't used to anymore. Yeah, so that's that. And I also feel like this whole gap year thing is something that people say it takes a lot of planning, which it does. Like, you really need to put some time and effort into planning what you really want to do, because if you don't, it could end up like me in the first half, not really knowing what I'm doing. I mean, I found myself a job and like reconnected to some people and stuff and found like new amazing people. But I also had some times where I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing and what I'm actually doing with my life. And that is a feeling that I didn't ever have when I was in school. So that was new. And I mean, it's gonna come for like everyone at some point. Like, I mean, if you're watching this and you're thinking about taking a gap year, then that's something you have to keep in mind, because that is something that's gonna come for you if you decide to do that. Another very important point that I wanted to make is that I feel like through the gap year, you really get like a taste of real life. That sounds like a big thing, and for some people that may not be true, because
one eternity later.
Hey guys, I'm back again actually. It is a new day, and don't mind the outfit change. Yesterday I have filmed the footage from yesterday. I filmed on a different camera, and like a whole like set of footage got deleted. It was a very sad moment, guys, really sad. So yeah, I actually thought about refilming the whole video, but this will do, I hope. And yeah, so let's just continue where we left off. This time I'm gonna have my phone for notes, just so you know. I have my phone for my face. So yeah, where we left off yesterday, I think I started saying, that like the gap year teaches you like a sense, like a taste of real life. And I mean, yeah, that's not the case for everyone. Like for me, it definitely was, but you can't generalize that, because everybody has like their individual way of living their gap year. It's very independent, and so I can't say that like this is like this for me, but it doesn't mean it is like this for you. If you're thinking about taking a gap year, it doesn't have to be like this. But for me, it definitely did, because I had so much time and so many things that I wanted to like do, and I had to like plan them myself and actually like work for them and actually put, drum roll, effort in them. Like actually had to put effort in them. And yeah, so for example, let's say I want to go to Australia, then I have to get myself a job and get the money to like finance it and stuff. And like your parents also probably, like, you grew up your parents like doing a lot of things for you, and as you get older that obviously fades, because you're like growing into strong independent people. Yeah, and definitely I also felt that was also something that obviously comes in this like transition phase when you're graduating and like moving on to a different like whole other chapter in your life. That's also of course when your parents like start to do less for you because you're just growing up. So that also added to the point of me feeling like, oh dang, this is getting real. So yeah, so this gap here definitely also for me, I'm gonna say, I don't know if this is actually whether I should put this as a positive or negative point. I'm just gonna put it, I think, as neutral, because for me, I knew that I'm gonna face challenges, and I did, and I still do. But I also wanted to, like, I really wanted to, like, some people have this idea of that they want to be different, like a different person from who they were in high school, for example. And that was definitely the case for me, because I have been constantly with like the same people since preschool, and I want to like have different people around me and also like change as a person, like who I was then. I wanted to change like before I go to university. I mean, that's obviously, again, that's not the same for everyone, but for me definitely was. I wanted to like surround myself with new people, new influences and everything. And that is something that this gap year did for me, because I got like introduced to like whole like new people, and through my job and like through just travel experiences. So I definitely got this experience of like being with new people, and that also really helped me. And also I got to like understand a lot about myself and like how I work, I guess, how I function. So yeah, like facing challenges definitely is a part of this gap year for me. Again, it doesn't have to be the same for you, but for me it was. I can only talk from my experience. But definitely that is also something I wanted to do. Like even if that wouldn't have like worked out itself, sorry. Even if that wouldn't have worked out itself, I would have like pushed it. I would have like exposed myself to situations where I know that I'm like going out of my comfort zone, which I did and still do. Also this like dream, or I guess like goal for me to be like constantly pushing myself to be a better version of myself. And there are like some things that I didn't like about myself in high school and that I wanted to change when I go to university. Yeah. Also, if you want like an update of what is like happening with my university plans, or where I'm like going, or what is happening in like the whole second half of my gap year, let me know, because I'd love to film that for you guys and like update you, because yeah, there's some news. Yeah, so definitely that covers it. Yeah, being like wanting to be a different person from the person you were in high school, surrounding yourself with different people, different influences. Simultaneously facing challenges, of course. I guess that all counts in, and that's all part of it. That is pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video has been insightful to you and that you, as usual, have gotten something out of it. Yeah, I really enjoyed filming this because I don't know, I can say that now, after this first half of the gap year has passed, I can already pretty clearly put it like how it was for me and how it still is, and what are some good points, bad points, and some neutral points, because some are just neutral, you know. Some things you just can't label. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Also, feel free to check out my Instagram. It's gonna be linked here, and it's gonna be linked in the description box below. And that is where I post polls and like keep you guys updated on like videos and like, yeah, all of that, but I'm pretty active over there. Also, feel free to show this channel some love. I really appreciate that. Also, thank you so much for all of the new subscribers that have entered this family. I still don't have a name, and I need a name, but I don't know, I guess I'm not creative. Yeah, so if you have any ideas, please write them in the comments, then I'll check them out. Yeah, other than that, I wish you guys a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next week. Bye!